Alright, welcome to Chacha Quantics. Now in this video I will be showing us how to prepare a cash flow forecast for your construction project. Alright, and I'll be referring to a document, a question from the professional exam of the Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyor. So we'll be using that document as a reference, so we don't just work with some hypothetical project. So I will be using that document as a reference to teach this particular cash flow forecast. All right, now this is the question here. All right, this is the question. It says that an oil and gas company has engaged a registered quantity surveying firm where you are the senior quantity surveyor to provide pre-contract and post-contract services for the construction of their head office in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The client has finalized the contract agreement with a successful contractor for the execution of the project. The client has written to your office for cash flow projection for the project, and as the senior quantity surveyor, you are to advise the client on anticipated cash flow projection for the project with the following details. The contract sum is 283,061,550 naira 25 kobo. The project duration is 6 months, and payment terms 50% of advance payment to be amortized 4 times starting from valuation number 2. It is starting from valuation number 2. All right, now this is the summary of contract bills here. Preliminaries is 15 million, substructure is that and that, then subtotal 1 is 250 million 313,070 naira. Contingencies is 13 million, subtotal 2 is 263 million 313,070 naira, and VAT is 7.5%, and this, then you have this total. All right, okay, now this is the program of work. This is the program of work for this particular project. Now we can see the preliminaries running from month 1 to month 6. Now we see mobilization here, we see substructure. Now month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5 months, you see them in weeks: week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. In month 2 we have week 5, week 6, week 7, and week 8 in that particular order. So in all we have 24 weeks. Okay, now this is what you have. All right, so we'll be working with this as a reference in preparing our cash flow projection. All right, let's come back here. Now basically, a cash flow forecast or a cash flow projection is a finance management tool or a financial management tool that is used to predict the inflow and outflow of cash associated with a project over a specific period of time. Right? It's a financial management tool that is used to predict the inflow and outflow of cash associated with a project over a specific period of time. And of course, it is to ensure liquidity and helps the client to make an informed decision. Now, in preparing a cash flow forecast, you need 2 major documents. First is the contract bill of quantities, and second is the program of work. I said first you need the contract bills of quantities or the project bill of quantities, and you need the program of works. Now this is what you have here. Now it is a project cash flow for XYZ oil and gas, that is the particulars. Now we are told that the contract sum is 283,061,550 naira 25 kobo. That's what you see from the question. Now it is distributed. We have month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5, month 6. Now of course I just used this: January, February, March, April. It could be anything. It could be February, March, April. It could be December, January, February, March, whichever way you want it. Now if we come back to this question, you see the first item here is preliminaries, and it is 15 million, right? Preliminaries here, you can see it here, it is 15 million. Now basically, if you have seen our previous video, we show how we can actually distribute value preliminaries, and we said it is divided into three sections. We have the initial, we have the running, and we have the end or the final cost. I will not be speaking on that in detail. Kindly check the YouTube channel. You will see where we treated how to value preliminaries. Okay, it is 15 million. Of course, we can't just put 15 million here. It has to be splitted, because in preliminaries you have mobilization. Of course, if you look at the question, it is there practically. You see here mobilization. The contractor has to mobilize to site, and I said mobilization is different from advance payment. Advance payment is basically for materials for the works. Mobilization is for the contractor to bring in his plant and machineries and workers and everything down to site to commence work. All right, so we're splitting this preliminaries into initial, running, and final. Initial is 30%, running is 60%, and the final is 10%. Now let's break it down. Now 30% of 15 million, right, is this, right? Is 4.5 million. 4.5 million. And this is what we have here. Now 60% of the preliminaries is this. I separated them for a reason. Is this 9 million? Now we have the final cost, which is the end cost. End cost. This is mobilization, right? Oh, this is 30. That is your mobilization, which is this, right? 30% of 15 million. Now the demobilization is here. Take a look at it from this question also. You see demobilization. The contractor has to carry his plants and machinery, has to go away from the site, his scaffolding, remove the project signboard, and all and all. That is demobilization. Please refer to our previous videos to get a better understanding of that. So it is 10%, which is 10% of this 15 million, and you have it to be 1.5 million. Now basically that's what we have here. Mobilization to 30%, which is 4.5 million. The running cost that runs through the month, it is 60% of 15 million, which is 9 million. And that, now it doesn't end there, right? Now the running cost, as it sounds, runs through the project. Now items that are contained in the running cost include buying of fuel for project vehicles, or buying of fuel to run generators, internet for data and for communication purposes, printing of documents, and a whole lot of others. Progress photographs, site meetings, and etc. and etc. Those are running costs. So they run all through to the end of the project. Now we have 6 months for this project, and we have 9 million, right? We have 9 million. All right, so we have 6 months, so we divide it by 6, right? That's what you have here, right? By 6, so it runs 1,500 for each month. And if you want to have it per week, you divide it by 4, or you divide by 4, multiply it by 4 again to have it per month. So but this is rate per week, so I will come there and we'll discuss. I just want to clear the air on these preliminaries. So that is what we have. Now at the end of the day, I have a check column here. There's a way you can check your work to know if you are right or wrong. Now if you see this 1.5 here, everything gives me back 9 million. So I can actually check if I am right or wrong whenever you're preparing a cash flow projection. All right, now this is what we have. It's divided into months. Now we have the duration. This is the contract sum. We have of course, which is this. Now the duration, we have them in weeks. Then we have the rate per week also. We have the rate per week. So basically, if you come here, this is substructure. If you see the on the question, substructure is 28,650,000. Now, what is the duration in weeks? The duration in weeks. Let's come over here again. Now, this is what we have. Substructure. It runs from the second week of month 1 to the first week of month 2. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 weeks. Right? That's why you have 4 here. 4 weeks. Now, of course, what is the rate per week? What is the rate per week? Because it is distributed into weeks here. Okay, rate per week is the total substructure cost divided by the duration, right? That gives me 7,162,500 per week. Now we have 4 weeks, but out of those 4 weeks, 3 of them is in month 1. 3 of them is in month 1, that is week 2, week 3, and week 4. Why the last week falls in month 2. Alright, now let's see how it plays out here. Now this is it. Alright, 3 in month 1, 3 weeks in month 1. So 3 times 7,162,500 gives me 21,487,500. Now 1 week falls in month 2. This is it here. 1 week here. Now this is how it plays out. 1 times it, because we already know the rate per week. So it remains the 7,162,500. I can check here. Alright. It must give me this. They must match up. This must be this. So it must match up. Otherwise, I am wrong. Alright. Now that is how we are going to analyze everything. So I will do a few more. Then I will go down to other questions below. Now frames. Let's come back here. Of course, this is the question. Frames is 16,895,000. Now in the program of work, frames runs how many weeks? Frames here, it runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Frames run 8 weeks. Now let's come here. This is here 8 weeks. Now the question is, what will be the rate per week? We already have it here, but the question is, how are we going to impute them here? Because the 8 weeks is not just in month 1 and month 2 or month 2 and month 3. The program of work will tell us what to do. Now in month 2 we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 weeks in month 2. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 weeks in month 3. So 4 weeks in month 2 and 4 weeks in month 3. So frames is falling in month 2 and month 3. Alright, so that's what we have here. Now you see 4 weeks in month 2, that's 4 times this gives me that, and 4 weeks in month 3, 4 times this gives me that also. Now I can check also. Now this is it. It must give me this. Right, you see 16,895,000, 16,895,000. Alright, to make this video not to be too long, you already know how this is achieved. Alright, I'll take one more. I'll treat one more and I will go over to the next question underneath it. Let's say we are picking Windows. Alright, Windows. If you come to the question, Windows here is 14,778,580. If you come to the program of work, Windows here runs from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 5 weeks. If you come here, this is it here, Windows, 5 weeks. Alright. From the program of work, it tells us how to distribute it. Distribution: 1 week in month 4 and 4 weeks in month 5. 1 week in month 4, of course, we've noticed here the cost per week is 14,778,580 divided by 5. We get this. All right, cost. This is cost per week, of course. Now we have 1 week in month 4 and 4 weeks in month 5. So 1 times this remains the same thing, and 4 times this gives me this, and of course I can check, right? It must be equal. It must be the same thing. So that is how you distribute cost in a cash flow forecast. You get to know the duration per week and divide the cost of each element by the number of weeks or months as the case may be. Then you distribute them in weeks or in months. So that is how you prepare the cash flow forecast sheet. If you will need this, just drop a message from me in the comment section. All right, let's come back here. That is not all in the question. Remember, this is, I said, the Nigerian Institute of Quant Surveyors professional exam. So I'm using this as a reference, right? So if you're in the academia, it will be very useful for you. In your professional career also, it will be very useful for you, because it is the same thing. The process is the same thing. Now, of course, it says here in number 3, payment terms. 50% advance payment is to be amortized 4 times. 50% advance payment to be amortized 4 times. All right, now if you come here, advance payment is paid. Of course, it is not, but we're told it is 50%. Now let's see how it is treated here. Okay, this is it here. Okay, let me come here. Now you see, I haven't done everything. This is subtotal 1. Add them up. Subtotal 2, subtotal in that order. All right, add everything up. Okay. Excuse me. All right, this is what we have. Okay, I got that. Okay. All right. So if I sum this up now, this, of course, this is what I was trying to confirm. 250,313,070. This is the check column for this. All right. So if I bring it back, this is going to give me, let me make this one here. This gives me, let me check with that also. Okay. All right, so you see this. All right, so this, then like I said, you can check. You can check. It tells you where you make mistakes and where you don't make mistakes. So having done that, now the contingency is 13 million. If you come to this question here, contingency is 13 million. Now the project is yet to commence. We don't know if there will be any contingent activity to be carried out on site. So for that reason, we split the contingency through the project. If there is nothing contingent, it becomes a saving for the client. So the contingency is, let's see it here. We run the contingency is 13 million. All right, so we run it through the project divided by 24 weeks. So we have this, right, per week. So this multiplied by 4, this multiplied by 4, multiplied by 4, multiplied by 4. Now if I add everything up, it gives me 13 million for the contingency. Now that gives us subtotal 2, right? Subtotal 2, after adding contingency. All right, now we add that. All right, now VAT is 7.5%. So 7.5% of this here gives us that. So it must be 19,748,000, 19,748,000. Then we have the total. Now this is a range like what we have here. All right, subtotal 1, then you have a contingency, then you have subtotal 2, then you have your VAT, then you have your total. All right, now advance payment, the question says that 50% was given as advance payment and it has to be amortized 4 times. You see advance payment here, it is 50% of the total, 50%. All right, which is 141,530,775 naira and 13 kobo. It has to be amortized in 4 valuations. So this divided by 4, I have this. All right, now if you come to the question, this cash flow forecast is for the client. All right, you are to advise the client on anticipated cash flow projection. Now let me explain something here. For the client, his valuation number 1 is advance payment. Although it may be for record purpose, his valuation for the client, valuation number 1 is advance payment. But for a contractor, valuation number 1 is not advance payment, because at that time he has not done any work. It was just some given to him to buy materials with. So for a client, advance payment is his valuation number 1. However, for a contractor, his valuation number 1 is the one for which he has worked for. So, but this question says we are preparing this cash flow for the client. All right, and amortization has to start from valuation number 2. All right, now for the client, this is valuation number 2. The first month is valuation number 2 because he has already paid advance payment to the contractor. He would have paid advance, which is valuation number 1. That is why you see we start amortization from the first month. However, if this were to be for a contractor's cash flow, the contractor wants to track the inflow and outflow of cash as he executes the work. This will go away. He starts from here, valuation number 2. So please let us take note of that discrepancy. For a contractor, advance payment is valuation number 1. Then for the contractor, valuation number 1 is that one for which he worked for, the first payment for which he worked for. So that is why we are starting our amortization from here. Now you see, it must be equal. It always must be equal. 141,530, 141,530. Now of course, the sum here also having amortized, it means in month 1 the contractor will not be receiving this. Of course means that in month 1 from the client's cash flow forecast, the contractor will not be receiving any further money from here because he will be owing a sum of 48,000 naira only. All right, while in month 2 he will get 19,376,541, and in month 3 he will be getting this amount. Month 4, and everything ends in month 4. In month 5, in month 6, he gets full payment because in month 4 the advance payment would have been fully amortized. Now of course he was paid 50% advance payment, so what he has now, that what he will be having in his valuations will be the other 50%, right? So this is 50% advance payment. Now if you come here, this is the other money he will get through valuations, which is another 50%. So this plus this gives me back that, because this is divided by 50% times 50%. All right, I hope this has added some knowledge to you, both academically and in your professional career. If you need this shit, and a question also, do well, just drop a comment right in the comment section, and you are going to have this sent to you. Thank you very much for joining this call. Thank you very much for you go through this. All right, this is Chaka Quantix. All right, this is Chaka Quantix. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Expect more and more and more videos from us. All right, thank you very much. See you in the next video. You can drop your questions also in the comment section.